got downloads about the 8-8 gateway and all the different ones that I've spoken to you about, the different portals. So because they don't know what time what scale of time we're on, something like that. Remember, I've always said we're in the 1700s, and someone's actually put that somewhere. I can't remember where, but I did post it. That we're not really on that true calendar. So there was no time recorded at the beginning of the Earth's creation. If you remember, it was just day and night. And they talk about that biblically. There was day and there was night. And then they had what you call, your sundials and your different tools to tell you what time you fed your cattle and what time you went to bed or had lunch or whatever. So you don't really know the months and days, because in the older calendar as such, they had longer seasons and they had about 13 months or even longer, maybe 14 months. So that's why astrology is wrong. That was man created too. And so they were programming you to believe in a certain type of personality, they're Scorpio, so they're always going to behave like that, and they're going to be like this, and there's going to be a positive and a negative, and then the stars in the sky and that planet over there is going to rule them. This is man-made, with the fake moon and the fake sun. And so what happened was the whole purpose of that was to keep you enslaved into a system. So you didn't look inside yourself to find the true you. And I've really noticed it with people, of lately. They're always looking for happiness outside their bodies, outside their personal space. They're always looking over there, or a leader over there, or a teacher there, or, and that's not how it works. You find it within. The more work you do, and we're evidence of that. Someone said to me the other day, how have you been? How you been keeping? And I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm at peace. I didn't have to say I was happy, because you could see I was happy. I just said, I'm at peace. I have a peaceful life. And when that gets disturbed or upset, it off balances you, it throws you off. And that's how life is meant to be. It's supposed to be a peaceful life. You've got the happiness, you've got all that sorted, you've done all your clearing. I mean, there is debris there, that shadow work that we've been doing. But above all of that, if you've got a peaceful life and you can really honestly say to yourself, I'm good where I'm at, well, then you're happy. You're really happy, because you've discovered what it is that makes you happy, and that's your peace of mind, your peace of lifestyle, whatever's around you. And then you find the joy and happiness in the little things, everything around you. And that's one of the lessons that I've been learning this week. You look at these people outside of you that's searching all the time, and they're never happy. They're always looking for someone to fulfill their happiness, whether it be a partner, a teacher, a lesson, food, alcohol, drugs. And it doesn't work that way. The truth is, you're only going to find it within yourself when you start doing the work. And, we've seen that. We've seen the glory of the work that we're doing. I mean, Glenda, that Jacob's star yesterday just had me in tears last night, blew my mind. I don't usually get reduced to tears, but I immediately got that is Jacob's star. And I knew about Jacob's star a long time ago when I was researching something, and they said there'll be a sign in the sky to say that you are fully doing God's work and accept it when you see Jacob's star. That was it. I know, it made me cry last night. I was like, oh my God, we're really doing this. This is happening, It was like, oh my goodness, look at it. You can see it. You can see the whole form of it and the rainbow codes in it. Yeah. It just blew my, I enlarged it and I went, oh.
When you enlarge it, you can see the fantails, actually.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's just like magnificent. And when you enlarge it, there's no way that could come through as sunlight, as just sunlight. It's the star of Jacob. You can really see it. And that gives us all hope that, we're on the right path here. We're doing the work that needs to be done. And I was like, geez, you must have been powerful on that beach yesterday, because whatever you did, that star came shining through really bright, wanted to be seen. And the weather isn't that great at the moment. A lot of it's frosty, cold conditions.
I think my sound just travelled a little bit further last night. It was wonderful. Yeah.
So that is peace. That's happiness. That's when you see a sign like that, because that's what they say. It's all in the symbolism and signs. When you see a sign like that, it's like, we're on track. And that's why I said to you, put it in the room, because we are on track. Whatever's happening on Earth in the movie over here, that's showing us that we're on total track. And I was like, it was just so magnificent and powerful. So, okay.
How blessed am I? Oh, wow. Amazing.
Tell you what, and then of the volunteers that came in the 40s and 50s, the first lot of light workers, way showers, are leaving the planet. And so a lot of the stuff you'll see that is of old school will start showing up in these op shops. So it'll be interesting to see what else we start finding. Okay. So I'm going to do a world update first, and then Shay will do your questions. And if anyone else has got theirs. Anything you want to ask for the world update? I'm going to ask Mylie about this real polar blast we're having here. It's connected to the solar blast as well as the polar blast. So you've got two things happening. You've got the galactics doing their solar stuff, and then you've got the polar, because it's cold, and it has to be cold to disinfect. Anyone want to add to it?
Well, I don't know whether this it's one that should be directed at Mylie, but I was just wondering about the Ring of Fire, the Pacific Ring of Fire that we're very much part of and is quite active. Just wondering whether our coastal areas are safe, and if not, is there a specific area that we should be just a little bit more aware of? Living on the coast, it'd be good to know.
And one of the channelings she told me on the, I think it was the east coast of the South Island, this is a while back in New Zealand, where there's a massive bit of land on the east coast. It's high cliffs. There's not much there. I think it's between Dunedin and Christchurch, where the boulders are, but a little bit further along, and there's not much there. She said a lot of that'll crumble away as the land expands, because it's moving up. It's joining the north. So a lot of that'll crumble away. Mainland area because it's mostly mountain ranges. There's only roads on either side, the west and east coast. Main islands that are getting affected are places like Japan and that, and Tonga, and because we've got the volcanoes too, and they're all going to be sort of doing their thing at some point. So you've got, because they're all lining up, so you've got as I said, the mountain ranges that I spoke about earlier in the week. You've got Hawaii, Japan, New Zealand, and then you've got Antarctica as well, and they're all holding a grid, which is the new Earth diamond structure. So they've got to let us know when they're active again and moving around. And they'll slowly do their eruptions and things, which they've been doing for a number of years already, but they're just small rumbles in comparison to what they're going to do. And I've been given a vision that when they erupt, these mountains, they're actually large pyramids that look like temples. And the land falls away, and there's actually a building structure under them. And they are grid buildings, and they hold free energy. So was the ice, we know the ice wall's fake. We know it's a man-made material, but we also know that is the land on these mountains and pyramids fake? Is it a man-made thing as well? Yes, it probably is, because I've seen it falling away and these structures being exposed, which they're finding now down in Antarctica. Everything's been covered up. The world is a cover up, basically.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Because Neptune kept coming through the other day, and I was just wondering what's going on in the Pacific between Australia and the West Coast. There's stuff going on there, and he keeps showing me stuff, and I don't know what's going on, so could ask what's happening there. Because something's happening there. I don't know.
Are you talking
In the
about the
ocean.
west coast of Australia or the west coast of New Zealand?
Between I guess it's the east coast of you guys and the west coast of the US in the Pacific there. That's the Ring of
Oh,
Fire,
yeah.
but something's going on in the ocean there.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Because that's where, remember, I drew the Lemurian Islands.
And Neptune kept appearing the other day, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. So,
well, when you think about it, we have done a lot of activations for around there too. And with these earthquakes in Japan, which one of the downloads I did get was that Japan is the old Lemuria and anchoring in the new codes for the new earth. And so when they hold on to those codes and then, you think about it, they expel it out into the rest of the Pacific and areas. When we get those codes, when the land receives them, they then get an earthquake to adjust to the new codes. And so we're getting a lot of land movement in and around the Ring of Fire. And there is a live map on, I think it's Google, where they show you the activity that's happening. These are the codes that are entering in there. So, yes, you're right. There's got to be something happening under the water as well. Is it rising those, helping activate and rise those underground cities? Most likely, because we activated that. And there's also, don't forget, the lost hidden lands that have got to rise. And New Zealand is a lot wider than they ever said it was. It's bigger, it's wider. And that's the true Zealandia. And that's rising. When that rises, the north and the south join. And a lot of people talk about it. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they said it'll be good the day that we can just drive across from the north to the south. So it'll just join. And then it will join up to Australia where it broke off. So let's find out. We'll find out. Because King Neptune must be working on a lot of that energy as well. He must be in the dimensions working on it and keeping it safe for us. That's why you're probably seeing him.
I don't know. He just appeared to me the other day, and I'm like, what? What are you trying to tell me?
Something's going on because I saw the Neptune fork this week. That fork that he holds, the crowns on it. Okay. Let's see who comes in. So hands on heart, people. So I can do this channeling and we'll see who comes in. I've got Mylie Master Orbeit and Gerome. Okay, they said ladies first, so Mylie's going first. Mylie, can I send you a message first? Yes, sure. Okay. Dear beloved sisters of the Rainbow Codes, Mylie here. I do hope you're all well. I hope that you are happy and at peace, as we have spoken about many times. As Amelia said, the peace is the biggest part of living. Once you're at peace, then everything falls into place. You become oneness, consciousness, and connected. You have many questions for me today, and I do hope to answer them in full as I am able to pass them through to you in a language that you understand, as a lot of the work I do, as you can imagine, is sensitive and coded. But I'll give you what I can at this point. Thank you, Mylie. So I'm asking about the polar blasts that New Zealand's received lately and the low temperatures that are uneven, because you can have one at one end of the island and one at the other, and in between it doesn't add up. Yes, she said we are doing this spring clean that you talk about. We have talked about the cleansing of the land, cleansing of the planet, and this is what we're doing. You see beams from the sky, you see a certain type of rain now appearing. This is all our galactic technology that we use to cleanse and sterilize the land so that the crops of New Earth will not be complicated in the sense that they have mineral deficiency and poisons in them. We also make sure the animals are safe and clear at this time, and that they do not have the fake hormones in the soil that is affecting them as they are suffering. And we have made sure that they no longer suffer. We're also cleansing the plant life and the flowers for the bees. Everything that's connected to nature is being cleansed right now, and that is why you're having to deal with cold temperatures to sterilize. The cold is what is the thing that keeps everything clean, not the hot, as you've been led to believe. So we've had to blast certain areas where it's been affected the most. And these areas have also been used for darkness and for things that are not righteousness, but of badness. And so therefore we've had to be able to cleanse them. As the desert road is -10, well, you can understand why and what's been going on there, especially underground. That was closed recently and has since reopened due to the fact that there was a lot being done beneath the surface. Now we have to work on the surface. The same with the South Island. You can see why we have to work over the mountain ranges and so forth, because under those mountains has been trafficking roads and all sorts of tunnel systems and things that need to be cleansed. So this is the kind of work we're doing. Before New Zealand can be whole and be called Zealandia again, it has to be cleansed. So does the Pacific, so does Australia, so do the rest of the neighbouring islands. And slowly but surely we're working on this space. Thank you. So that explains the polar blast. And she showed me, you know, how they're doing it from the skies. So a lot of it's been done. All right. Ring of Fire next. Who wants that? King Gerome. King Jerome's going to work on the Ring of Fire. What have you got to tell us, King Gerome? He's showing me the Ring of Fire and he said how active it is. He said, think of an unbalanced disc and it's moving, you know. You're trying to balance something on a stick and it's like this and it's unbalanced. It's so unbalanced. It's like this, the Ring of Fire. And he said that is because it's adjusting to a new code system, a new grid system. The old grid system didn't hold, so we're having to recreate. That is why you are seeing what's being done here with the different mountains, with the different islands, the earthquakes. You've also been receiving high waves, and this is what's been going on in the Ring of Fire. He said, because that is true Lemuria. He said, this is the new Lemuria forming for the new Earth diamond construction. You will see a lot more happening soon, and you'll see a lot more being spoken about and people understanding that there's something special with this area. You'll see an influx of people wanting to live here, move here and create new lives, simple lives, lives of peace, lives of happiness, lives of clean living, clean eating, that kind of thing. He said the area will be used for lots of different types of healing systems, plant medicine, and it will be leaders like you that know what's going on in the beginning, you that have led people here, the way showers. That is what's going to happen. In the meantime, do not fear, dear beloved, beautiful souls. You are all safe, secure. You are on our mission, and we protect you and watch you every day. King Gerome. Okay, so that's what it is. It's at the moment, what you're seeing is the uneven disc. I'm just asking him about what you saw, Shay. He's showing me the underwater domes. He said it's not the domes that are rising. They are rising, he said, but they're taking their time. They can't come up too fast because it changes the way they live there. So he said what's happening and what you're seeing, what you're hearing is the landmass changes that are coming. He said a lot of the land will start to be found and seen. A lot of the lost planes that sunk and ships that sunk will start to float to the surface. You'll see a lot of bits of driftwood and big pieces of wood coming up on your beaches, that kind of thing. From broken homes, broken ships, old land mass will start to rise. King Neptune is guiding it to safety so that it doesn't cause any more damage to the cleansing that's being done. But it must be seen, it must be recognized, because it is rising to be the new land, the land of New Lemuria. Diamond construction is being built. And so that means there's a lot to be done here. It's not just what you are working with in the land now. There's the hidden land, the old land that sunk. That is all rising. The old Atlantis, the old Lemuria, those land masses have to rise again at some point to bring in the code system to hold the new Lemurian codes. Okay, so King Neptune is guiding it. So I guess he's like a logistics person. He's saying, making sure it ends up on the right beach, or it doesn't cause any damage, because you don't want to undo the work that's been done. That's all guided. Master Orbeit's talking about the new medbed facilities, and he said they're not called medbeds. Stop calling them medbeds. They're not medbeds. That's a 3D matrix humanoid technology name. He said that's not what we call them. He said, in fact, it's just normal medicine to us. It's normal healing procedures to us. To you, it's something new. So they've given it that name. He said, but they're looking at some of the islands where the new med beds, or whatever they're called, facilities are being created. Some of them will be on these islands, these new islands rising. Also parts of what's already there, like Tahiti, Hawaii, those regions. You'll see a lot of doctors, nurses being trained up and being sent to these different remote islands, and then you'll know facilities are getting created. Naturopaths, natural medicine people, they'll be guided to go and work in these areas and start them up. Jamaica is one of them. Remember, I talked about Jamaica in my channeling. Jamaica will have healing facilities. Okay, so that's a world update on what's happening there. And then we need to know, where are we at in the world? What's being played out here? He's coming in for that. Commander Ausher. Europe. Okay, I thought that. All right. This is going to hurt a few people, but it's the truth. That's how it's going to be. Many countries of Europe will disappear. Many of those countries have been as set up and used over time as an experiment, and he said a lot of them are just NPCs. He said a lot of those older countries have no energy. They're just already dead. They're just playing out. He said when you visit these countries, you can see the dead energy. And I thought, well, yeah, I can, because I hated Rome, and parts of Italy it's dead. I remember thinking, it's just dead energy, old buildings, stale, stinky buildings that are dark and nasty. And places like Prague and all those more Eastern European countries is just a dead energy, and they will no longer exist in the future. They have done their purpose, their service in this part of Earth's creation. And he said, you don't want to have that energy as you don't want that energy around as you go into New Earth. New Earth is forming. He said, this is why you're seeing so much imbalance and upheaval. He said they used a lot of these latest events around the world to siphon the energy to keep it going, and it didn't work, like the World Cup, that kind of thing. Those energies where people go to big events, and at the moment it's all about, the sporting industry or the film industry or whatever. They have all these big festivals around the world. That's just for siphoning energy to keep surviving, because they know they're collapsing. He said it will disappear. Just like Atlantis and Lemuria and Tartarians will rise and be again as the old goes away. The younger countries, the newer countries, are the surviving countries.
Those countries that will disappear, they'll go, and then everything will move into the diamond too.
Yeah.
So that would make space so the new can come in and we can all come into the diamond.
Yeah. Less population.
Yeah.
And in the diamond structure, a lot of those countries will break away.
Right.
He's saying that this whole immigration thing is part of that, to destroy the countries. Because they will no longer exist. Parts of the UK will no longer exist, especially London. England will become smaller. Ireland, Scotland and Wales will join up again and be the true UK, the true Israel, and move in closer to the diamond on the outside of the diamond structure. Tartarian will rise again. The true buildings will be exposed and used for sound healing and free energy. The churches will be made into sound healing as well. Some of the churches will need to be destroyed. And we don't need to ask why. Okay. All right. So that's sort of what's happening around the world at the moment. Oh, how close are we to the diamond structure? They're showing me there's 27% left of something. So we're in the 70% mark now. 3 years. Something about the 3. Well, see, I always channeled 2033 and 2030 onwards. Yes, the end of the 20s is the building, the restructuring. The 2030s are important. They're not really the 2030s. They'll be the new old 18th century. That's why the Tartarian buildings will rise again. Makes sense, doesn't it? When will we settle into our final location? Hawaii, Tahiti, whatever it will be. Well, I reckon 2030, because what he just said. Yeah, got a yes, 2030. So what are we now? 26. We've got 3 years. 2030. The 30s. 30s. We will all be in the 60 around about, 2030. It's a 3-year transition, but 3 years is not 3 years. You've got to remember that. We can't keep thinking in years. That's just a guess around there. So we're in this, the land cleared is in the 70%, 75, 76%. So we're doing a lot of good work here, guys. Really good work. Well, most of us be living in the Pacific region that we call today will be the new Lemuria. Yes, we will be. Okay. And we'll all have, peaceful lives. We'll all have, yes, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. It'll all be taken care of. Finances won't be a problem. There'll be no such thing as finances. So you kind of don't have to worry about that. That's not. You're free citizens. The more you use that frequency, the more everything becomes free for you. Stop worrying about cost of living. Stop worrying about expenses. Stop worrying about how you're going to pay for something because it's not real. Just go ahead. Use whatever you want to use. Do whatever you want to do because it'll always be provided for you. You will not go without. Cool.
That morning you said that you were up at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
So was I. I got woken up at 4 o'clock and I had the impression it was King Gerome trying to come through. Is that correct? And what was happening then? Because I just woke up and I just felt like.
And it was hard to go back to sleep too. I was awake for about an hour or two. All the Lyrans have come in. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so what he's telling me, we were working on the fake portal. So he said, it's not a fake portal, but it's the 8-8 portal that once was when we were in the 8-8 and before the time was manipulated. He said, we have to adjust it for the earth so that it can be accepted as an understanding of a time once before where there was a gateway where we used to be able to come in freely and talk and connect with you and speak with you and walk the earth and that kind of thing. He said, so you have to make the energy, the frequency here more lighter for people to be able to accept this time because it's out there and people are talking about it. They're expecting it. So you do something together with the frequency. And because you're Lyran, you got that role. And for some reason, because I'm doing what I'm doing, I got my role to do as well. And that's why we were awake at 4 o'clock. We had been away working in the frequency so that people could sort of work with it at the moment. He said it will disappear, it will change. People will start to realize we're not in the real time, so it's not really 8-8.
Interesting.
He said the frequency that you've been working with has been keeping you to a point where you're really tired. And I thought, yeah, I've been really tired. He said, and this is why you're getting headaches. This is why you're getting sore eyes. He said, because it's a frequency that you have to carry through this period of time. It's right through to the end of August 31st. Around that time, that week. Okay. He said the people that are doing the 8-8 gateway is keeping it going. That's why we were getting that dizzy feeling. A lot of us were getting that spiraling feeling. He said because our multi-consciousness understands that it's not really the real time, but we're having to deal with it because it's here alive and active as people are waking up to the fact that it isn't really the real time, but they're keeping that energy frequency going at this time and it's affecting us. I feel out of sync. He said, and you're holding space. Basically, you're holding it there for them so that they can deal with what they have to believe until they wake up and realize this time next year, 8-8 portal will not be so big because more and more people are getting the same message about the time. Same with 7-7, 12-12, 11-11, 10-10. He said, you know, those months are not the real months. He said, yes, those portals did exist and they do still have meaning and you can celebrate that time, but don't use it as a frequency because then it holds you back. It holds you back from your growth. And therefore, that's why you light workers who know the truth and understand are out of sync because you're working with the good energy, the frequency that you know moves you forward. But there's one here pulling you this way. So you're like this, you're out of sync just until the end of August. Because so many people make such a big thing of it. And I got invited to a sound healing 8-8 gateway session recently. So there's a lot of people doing work out there at the moment. And of course, this is what happens with the belief in astrology, with the moon, with the sun. It's creating, it's slowing the frequency of new earth forming because you've got to get over that. You've got to get past that. And that's why you were awake at 4 o'clock in the morning. You'd been working in the frequency. I want to know about the world at large, you know, what's happening with all the leaders and everything. Why are we still seeing all this play out? When's all that going to be dissolved? Again, it's the building time. It's a building time. It's a time of building. It's a time of change. You will see differences happening every other year now until, you know, you get to the 30s. So slowly everything's dissolving, everything's fading, everything's moving forward. Yeah, it's just, it will be going. It will be going soon. That's all they're telling me, soon. Because we've got an election coming up in New Zealand soon. And we've already received messages about that. There is change coming. But we've still got a bit to go through. Another couple of years of fake living governments and things, but it will come right. Japan is anchoring in the code, so that is why we're seeing more earthquakes. Why do I have to go to Japan is the question, because you have to hold the codes there for a certain period of time or something. I have to work on Mount Fuji as the grid, something to walk. I have to walk the grid. I have to walk the grid. I have to walk the grid, put my codes in the grid and walk the grid. Okay. Oh, so if we're talking about the calendar and these portals not really in the time they say they are, but they did exist, what about Matariki? It's the same goes for Matariki. It's not the real time, but it is a time of celebration. See, this is another thing. Remember I channeled that all public holidays and celebrations will change in the new earth because everything will change. There will always be a Matariki because it's part of Lemuria. So they're showing me the mountains and how they sort of work against, they mirror the star system. So if you look at the mirror of the star system and you look at the mirror of the mountains, they reflect each other. That's the grid. Look up at the sky and you'll see the Earth grid. It reflects in the night sky. So each mountain is a point or a main star or planet, which reflects this night sky. Is that why we see a lot of activity above the mountains at night? Yes. Okay. Because it's actually the planet reflecting onto the mountain and the mountain reflecting back. Okay. Oh, well, that makes sense then, because it's like that, you know, so above, so below. So there's the mountain, that mountain would be that planet would be that mountain. Okay, so I get it now. They're showing me it's a mirror, it's a reflection. That's pretty cool. All right, anyone else got anything?
I got a question. You know, they always say that all those stargates, like there's a Stargate in Sarasota and they're all over the world. Are those even real, or they don't exist anymore? Were they ever Stargates? I mean, I'm just curious what that's all about.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because remember I channeled about some of the old Stargates were closing and they were opening new ones, like new landmarks and everything for the new Earth. A lot of the old Stargates were hijacked. Yeah, so they're closing.
So when you know, you see all these, you know, on Instagram, oh, Stargate 5 is opened up, or you know, it's like, well, what is that? So those are all closed. Those are all old then?
It's the old system. Yeah, it's the old system.
So
Well,
just
remember
just,
Samuel Lee and his group opened up that Stargate
yeah.
in Egypt, and it was a dark hijacked Stargate, and it let in a lot of darkness to Earth, and it slowed a lot of stuff down because it's an old one. We're not supposed to be supporting the old Stargates. They were used and hijacked for it. That's why we're in this mess. That's why Earth got into this mess. Nothing was protected or guarded, or everything was hijacked. And I mean, tribes sold out, you know, everyone sold out basically, and we're here to fix it. So we're creating new stargates to allow them to come in freely. Only the light beings of New Earth come and go. Same with, you know, you think about it, you've got new timelines, you've got new portals for time travel and things like that. It's all got to be new. It's got to be fresh. It's got to be coded with rainbow codes. It's got to be coded with diamond consciousness. And a lot of these old ones were used to create the Earth, like they used them to travel here to create Earth, to create what they were doing. And they got hijacked, and the reptilians and all these other dark beings came in and created the underground and all that. So you don't want to keep celebrating them and reopening them and whatever. There's a great big one.
So are they going to be not as noticeable as the ones that they all are advertising? They're going to be more low key, the new ones?
The new ones.
Where they won't be as... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
I'm just... They won't be as, like, noticeable. I mean, they're more low key to where only certain people know about them.
Yeah, more natural, more protected.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you know, you've got all
I
these.
don't know why I felt compelled to.
Yeah, you've got all these. You've got all these old ones. You know, I mean, a lot of the stargates are the old ones, like the entrances that curve over like that. You see, I mean, there's a big one. There's a big one in Germany, in Berlin, and I can't think what it's called. It's called something Gate. And it's like that, and it's got the horses with the wings and everything on it, and that was an old Stargate, and that helped with the all the darkness that went on there. You've got all those sort of things happening, around the world that are old Stargates that you don't want to keep reopening and creating. And everyone knows about them. It's been made popular. You want to keep the ones close to your hearts, the ones that you know, the ones that you understand, the new ones. You don't want it to get out in the wrong hands. That's why you've got to be very careful with the information you share, and that's why we only get told what we get told, because anything further from that will get hijacked, or it'll be at risk. The new diamond consciousness will have its own Stargate for intergalactic travel. That's why we've got to open new Stargates and create new portals. And that's part of the grid. That's why the mountains will expose themselves. You'll see the buildings and the temples and things. They'll be the new Stargates. They'll be reactivated, but with rainbow codes. There's going to be a big one expose itself in Antarctica soon. So I'm told. Because what will happen is with these new portals and Stargates, you'll see that they will be rainbow code activated. They'll be a lot different. They'll have a different energy frequency about them. You look at the old portals and Stargates of today, and they're just darkness. They've got horrible energy with them because they've had wars around them. They've had trafficking around them. They've had slaughter. They've had all the darkness of the earth that has been. And so you feel that when you're there, like I said, old Europe and places like that, it's just old and creepy and yucky and dead energy. But the newer ones, you'll walk into them and it'll be peaceful, loving, beautiful rainbow codes. I mean, look at the Star of Jacob yesterday. That's what will be the new portals, the new activations that we're going to start seeing, like down here in the New Earth portal that I've got down the road. Well, you feel it. You see the light, the rainbow codes coming through the trees, the birds are singing, the fantails are there, the guardians, the tuis are there. They are the portals. You don't want that dead energy of the old stargates and portals creating a new earth. That's not what it's about. And slowly but surely we're getting fed the information to do this work, but on different levels, and like I said, you've still got the level of people, light workers that are still looking for happiness from outside of themselves, looking for marriage, looking for partners, looking for this, that and the other to make themselves happy. And then they're also doing the whole astrology thing, the moon, the star, this, that, the new moon, the old moon, the quarter moon, or whatever, the portals, the gateways that are all of old systems. We no longer need to be doing that. We're creating something new here. And so we're getting guidance from our consciousness, and that's why your consciousness has to be pure, absolutely pure, to build a pure new earth. That's the message that's coming through. And all of us are doing our work towards it on a different level. It's whether you're on a 4D, a 5D, or a 6D, you're all doing a different level of work. Those that will remain behind are the ones that are not putting in the effort. And you can see that. You can see who's not putting in the effort. You can read the person. You can feel their energy. Okay, so I've covered everything. And we don't want to get into the matrix stuff because that just dims our light. Was that Jacob's star yesterday? Yes. There you go. Got a straight out yes. Was that Jacob's star? Is that a signal from God? Is that a signal, something to begin? Yes. It's a signal. The activations were brought the signal in. Nikita said that. She said the creator. About the mountains. I'm getting the mountains again. I keep getting what's happening with the mountains. It's like it's not even a real snow in some of those mountains. It's like a fake snow, like the fake ice wall. So a lot of these mountains that they don't ski on is a fake snow. Which is interesting. Just thinking about medicines, plant-based. Are we going to see more plant-based medicines, activations coming in? And berries, the real berries, not the fake berries. Now, there's a big thing about the berries at the moment. This is something we can ask. Now, the berries that we have, like the strawberries and blueberries, blackberries, and all that are being sprayed are no good, because the stuff that they spray on it doesn't break. It never breaks down. It doesn't even break down in your body. But one thing I did get was a New Earth. Yes, we're still going to have berries, but not as many like the strawberries. That's a sort of they're not actually very good for you, the strawberry. But the blueberries and the blackberries that grew wild on the side of the road, you know, on a bush, are better for you than the ones that were man-made and hybrids in the ground, like the strawberry. Well, they're telling me the eatable berries, and you think about some of them like juniper berries and things like that that you get off the trees, are the ones that we're going to eat in New Earth, the real ones off the trees that haven't been hybrid, haven't been sprayed. Like the little, remember growing up, we'd walk through the bush and there'd be little red berries, and your parents would say, don't eat them, they're poisonous. Well, that's the kind of thing we're going to be eating, the real berries. And that's what we lived off in the beginning of time. So they're coming back. We'll be using them, and we'll be making drinks. We'll be making medicines, you know, and they have been forgotten, because there's a lot of those berries that we use, but in the wrong way. Like the juniper berry is used for gin, but you can make a drink out of it. You know, you can make a tea out of it. It's the same with a lot of those elderberries and things like that that we've forgotten that we can start using again, because the other ones where we eat strawberries and that are not good for you. I never buy strawberries anymore because you never know what's on them. So, and we're going to slowly start going to raw diets. Well, I've started eating raw. I'm eating most nights now. I'm eating a raw salad of some sort or a raw vegetable, and then I'm just having something very light with it, you know, like a tuna steak or a fritter or something like that, you know, vegetable fritter, or you know, or a bit of pie or something. I did a potato and meat pie the other night, and it repeated on me all night, and I suffered. So I know now we're not supposed to be eating heavier food. We're supposed to be eating lighter.
What plant can we actually, just talking about basically growth in the garden, what plant can we actually put in that would be really quite useful to try and attract more bees? Is that lavender? What would be the most powerful plant to start growing to attract?
Lavender you can make into tea.
Yeah, no, but I'm wanting to attract the bees, help with the bee population. I was just wondering what would be, if I start planting a few plants, what would be the best? When I Googled it, it did say lavender, and I'm just checking because
I'm really into lavender, because after the bee activation and what they told us, and also the foxgloves. The foxgloves are incredible. They heal the insects in my garden from each year now. Because when we did the Foxglove activation, they showed us in the actual little chamber of each foxglove is healing codes. That's why it's got a pattern on the inside. And we actually went in those little chambers in meditation, and it's got a frequency, and that's why the bees and everything fly in there, and they sit in there and they buzz and that, and then they fly out again. They're actually getting healing codes,
Right.
healing chambers.
Okay.
So I love my foxglove. They come back every year. Once you've had one batch, you'll get them back every year, because when they dry off, just shake the seed in the ground, they come up again.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. Okay.
But they're not eatable.
Right.
So you really want something that does the same job that's eatable. What's that flower and wide leaf plant that we get down by the lake here, Teresa? And we put it in our salad that time, and I said to you, the whole plant's eatable. Can you remember that? What's it called? Starts with A, N, I.
Because the goats love eating it too. It grows down here when we take them walking.
Yeah, it's really common. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what I found in the garden this week?
What?
Wild carrot.
Oh, well.
I've got a wild carrot plant. It's come from the seed, from obviously down by the river.
Wow, cool.
I put my Google lens to it and it said wild carrot. So I repotted it in there in my little trough. Sunflowers too. I've got sunflowers coming back every year. I reuse the seed, and you don't need to buy the expensive seed. I go down to the pet barn and buy the sunflower bag for $5, which is for the birds, and then I just scatter that in the garden, and every year I have sunflowers. And that's eatable, and the whole flower's eatable. You can fry the flower.
Yeah.
The bees love it too.
Yeah, they love it. Those sunflowers I had last year were amazing.
A bit more space though, don't they? I've got limited space.
Yeah.
They're not the big tall ones. They're sort of in between. They're not the giants.
Okay. Wow.
You can put them in pots. You can put the fence out the back by the shed, something like that. They'll just grow.
Yeah, so they don't need to have a lot of sunlight.
They find the sun. They face the sun.
Probably makes them grow taller.
You just need sometimes the bamboo stakes to hold them up.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine are usually about, well, they're under 5 foot. They're not the big giants. And then I've planted some in the ground this year. So hopefully they'll come up. Just scatter them everywhere. I throw them in all my plant pots, and I get little baby sunflowers, and then I get medium ones and big ones, and they're just everywhere with the foxgloves.
Okay.
Scatter them.
That sounds cool.
I think more than anything, we've just got to clear the way now and keep working on going forward. And the more information we get about stuff like the portals and things, start just trusting what you're hearing. And thank you, Lyrans, Mylie, Commander Ausher, all the beautiful light beings that came through. It was just so beautiful. Master Orbeit, as always, King Gerome. You know, they all come through. They never let me down. They're always there. They're waiting in line. They're participating in so much now that it's just like one big, huge family. There's the veil is so thin. It's getting easier to connect than it used to be, because we're all connecting in oneness. We're all connected somehow. And that's what I like about it.
They are incredibly supportive, aren't they? It's just
you feel their love. And when she showed me that turquoise,
cry, as you say, the emotion with it is just like, wow.
That turquoise water, man, it's beautiful. I can't wait for the day that we walk into Taupo Lake, or we walk into the Pacific, or we're in Tahiti, or we're in Hawaii or somewhere, and we're all living in the one landmass, and we walk into the water and we can see each other through the water and the rainbow codes bouncing off us. That's how she showed it to me. But the temples in the hills where the mountains were.
Wow.
That's the new Lemuria, people.
So what about some of
Right.
these lagoons? Because they've got that like in Rarotonga in the
The
lagoon.
lagoons, yeah.
It's that beautiful aqua water. It's just amazing.
Oh,
So
think how much better it will be.
yeah, well, that's it. I just immediately thought of that area, and because you know, you just absolutely taken back by the beauty of it. The color is just
And Jamaica's going to be like that too.
wow. Mm.
Well, Jamaica is. It's got some diving places and things like that. But you know, you just think of the crystals you're going to see through the bottom of the water. That's the thing. The rising crystals that are just going to be sitting there waiting for us to work with.
So
Emerald,
basically, the coral will be replaced with the crystals.
be a bit of everything, I would imagine. Just imagine that.
Wow, yeah, amazing.
I mean, what did we have in Lemuria and Atlantis, you know, and we've got the red gold coming, you know, we've got the sapphire water, we've got the ruby water, we've got the emerald water. We're going to be living off berries, we're going to be living off light, we're going to be living off raw fruit, vegetables. We're going to be so healthy. We're going to be getting younger, not older. We're going to be living longer. We're going to have more united family than ever before. Anything that we missed out in Earth as the way we've had as family will become a new soul family. It's going to be totally different.
Surrounded by love. Yeah.
And oneness and peace.
Yeah.
I just can't wait. You know, it's coming in the 30s. I mean, look how quickly 2020 to 2026 went. You know, Shay was asking before, well, when will it be? Well, 2030 is 3 years away, really, and it's going to go very quickly. It's going to feel like 18 months. Well, that's when they said to Shay, expect everything to change in 18 months, the move away. Well, yeah, it's probably going to feel like only 18 months. That's how quick everything's happening. So, you know, everything's been revealed to us now, and everything is collapsing. The process is in play. There's just spiritually awakened people that are still following the Matrix game, the movie, and talking about the Diana being alive, JFK being alive, all this stuff. Don't get involved in it, because as part of the program to wake you. Once you're awake and you know that, move forward into oneness. Get away from that, shift away from that, because that's what's holding everything back. The more you talk about that kind of stuff, the more you're getting held back. You're not getting into your consciousness and finding the peace in your heart that we're all meant to have. The true happiness comes from in here. That's just an added bonus. But as I said, we're going to find our real tribes. The families we were born into and had are just part of your awakening and your journey to get to the true oneness that is with everything. And that's when you're in that right space, and you will find everything that's been missing in your life is complete. And that's why we're connecting on souls and multidimensional and galactic, because the soul families, we've all been connected in past lifetimes, past planets, past multidimensional visits. And, you know, this is why we are connecting so easily now, and everything's adding up and coming together, even our activations, one after the other. And if you keep moving forward in that way, you're going to get the signs like the Jacob star. You're going to get the sign that you've got an earthquake here, or high tides, or the cleansing of earth we've just experienced. I mean, it's a beautiful time to be alive when you look at it in the way that what we know. You know, if you keep going back into that negative vibration, you don't move ahead. You just sit there, and it's never going to unfold for you. And that's what they do. They keep posting the same stuff, looking at the same stuff, talking, and it's like, come on, you're not moving forward. You're not creating, you know, everything that's supposed to be new. So yeah, so that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed today. Well, do take care, everyone.